Welcome to the John Sandwich Show.
Can't believe
I don't look like Bane anymore when I'm going to be talking.
Swear to God, it felt like I was drinking this beer for 2 hours.
that. And
It's
it's a scam.
Did it touch you? Did it touch you?
Yeah, it made me feel things.
Should we let everyone else in on the conversation? If it's too loud, they just turn it down, right?
Perfect sandwich. Beautiful. But first an intro, yay!
Welcome back to the John Sandwich Show.
What's up, everybody?
Remote live.
I'm your host, Eric. With me, as always, is John and John. We are the John Sandwich Show.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. How is it? How was everybody's week?
Long.
It's been about a week since we potted, right?
Yeah.
I think we did. Yeah, we did on Monday, maybe, or last weekend. I forget.
Yeah, something like that. I think it was like Saturday or Monday, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously
it was a good one.
Going on.
Oh, it was Monday because it was our birthday.
Yeah, that's right. We did Monday, so it actually hasn't been too long. That's good. What are you guys drinking there?
I am drinking some Mac and Jack.
Nice,
I'm having the classic session.
I got Fremont Interband, which I'm sure everyone's had before.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a pretty good beer.
It is a good beer. It's a fine beer, I might say.
I think I have Profuse too. I think the Profuse might go loose today.
The
one
Profuse
more time.
juice. Ooh,
Yeah.
Eric's getting Profuse, man.
Yeah. So yeah, as I was telling you guys through text message, I kind of had a little bit of a crisis of faith during our last podcast. Just we're going off and we're talking about different things. I mean, everything's kind of stemmed in Corona these days, and kind of whatever is like revolving around that. But yeah, it just it felt kind of weird to me coming off of it, just cracking jokes and like talking about like movies being delayed and stuff like that, like with everybody dying. And like just for a split second there, I was just like, crap, like, do we need like a content change or something? Like, is it really appropriate for us to be joking around in these times? And so I kind of went through that like for the day, just having like some conflicts in my brain about it and like what direction I think maybe we should start going for the show. And then it kind of just struck me that maybe the irreverence is good. Like maybe joking around is good right now and what people need right now. I mean, fucking, you can turn on your news and get bummed out 24 hours a day, anytime you want. People probably don't come people probably don't come to the sandwich and check us out to be bummed out anyway. So I guess we should probably just be the same old sandwich that we always are, not put any kind of constraints or any kind of really direction on what we talk about and just let the conversation go where it goes, right? I mean, that's kind of what our strength is, I think, is just keeping the conversation going.
Yeah, but you do make a good point, though, man. It is really hard in this time to have a comedy channel, quote unquote, because they don't have a subcategory for us. So to have a quote unquote comedy channel when nothing really seems to be too funny.
Yeah.
But I also feel like, being able to talk about it is fine, because I think a lot of people out there want to know that they're not the only ones struggling through what's going on right now. There's millions of Americans and, or actually millions of people around the world, not just Americans, struggling with this. So sometimes the content change is okay, but on the other hand, we still are all in this together and we all are affected by it, so I understand like a little bit of your thinking right there,
Yeah. I think we should just continue talking about our lives and whatever's on our mind, be it coronavirus or anything else. I think, just let it all fly, I think is the answer.
Yeah.
I will say, it's really hard to bring up any type of conversation without bringing up the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic going on right now. It is really hard, man, because any news media or radio show or whatever the hell you're listening to is revolving around COVID-19.
Yes, for sure.
Just because it's so affecting. Like, look at us now.
Yeah.
It's like I can't really talk about my week because nothing has happened.
That's another hard part too. It's like getting content because we're not doing anything. We're just sitting around the house.
Yeah, it's like
yeah. I mean,
that writer's motto, like you gotta live in order to write. You can't
Right,
just sit
right.
around in your room and write about nothing. You gotta
Well,
go out there.
I've been pretty fortunate this week where actually I got out of the house twice. So the first time was to go to Costco, which I might have talked about this in the last podcast. Like Costco's really got it going on as far as just social distancing and stuff. And when you get in there, they have it like it's like a well-oiled machine. You're in, you're out. They even like unload your groceries for you, put it back into your car, and then you fuck off and you go take it home and whatever. A lot of places aren't like that. QFC's pretty good. So we had to go. I was hoping that the kids would just forget about Easter this week. It's like, fuck, we're not religious. Why do we even celebrate Easter? One of these fuckers actually looked at the map or looked at the calendar and actually saw Easter was coming up and brought it up maybe like a couple days ago. So I was like, fuck, now people are going to be expecting some kind of Easter shit. So we went out today. Go ahead.
So just interrupt a little bit. What does your family expect from Easter? Like, what do you do traditionally for Easter?
Oh, so we just, it's just more about coloring eggs, hiding the eggs in the morning. Everybody wakes up, has a basket with like candy and like toys in there and stuff. So that's kind of what they want. Right now, though, there is a run on eggs. So like when we went to Costco, I have a big sign out front that said no eggs. So today I went to QFC, another sign in front of the eggs, like 1 dozen per customer. So I'm like, this egg thing's probably not going to happen. So we're just gonna do plastic eggs this year, and I just bought like a bunch of candy to fill the plastic in, which is kind of nice because then we don't have to do the whole fucking coloring cleanup and stuff. That's always a pain in the ass every year, dye getting everywhere and stuff.
Well, that and you're not wasting a shit ton of eggs.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, we probably shouldn't be coloring eggs right now anyway for fun and giggles and shit. People need to eat these eggs and stuff. They don't need to be stockpiling, even though we usually do.
You can tell the kids
we'll
that.
do like
It'll
a
be
deviled
valuable
egg
lesson.
thing. Oh yeah, I just told them that they didn't have any eggs. I lied to them on Jesus' birthday. I mean, not Jesus'
There are no
birthday,
eggs.
His
but
resurrection.
he rose from the grave. Yeah, his resurrection. So I went to QFC today, which was kind of awesome. Like, QFC was a lot different than Costco, just in terms of people kind of keep close quarters. Like, like I don't think I've ever been so self-aware of people around me. Like I'm very much like, please fucking stay 6 feet away from me. Like I swear to God, when we went to Costco, somebody fucking crop dusted the line and shit. And I'm like, fucking, if I'm smelling this shit, like, can it be passed through fucking breaking wind like that? Like, obviously, your insides are in my lungs right now because I'm smelling it. Fucking nasty. Is this like a biological weapon shit happening right now? Horrible. But I went to QFC today. And I have like my allergies started acting up like crazy, which is so fucked up to have allergies around this time and shit. Like I woke up all clogged, coughing and shit. And I'm like, oh my God, this is it. But I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99% sure it's just allergies. But,
well, if it makes you feel any better, the last few days I've been super stuffed up. I've been usually wearing a mask at work and stuff. But I haven't been able to wear my mask at work because I can't fucking breathe because I'm so like clogged up. So
yeah, for sure.
I haven't been wearing my mask the last few days. So just to make you feel better, it is definitely allergies right now. I mean, you see all the pollen on your car, right? You see all that pollen on your car, right?
And my eyes are all itchy. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just allergies. But going into a public place, sniffling and stuff and like coughing, people tend to stay the fuck away from me. So that's kind of a plus. You're going in, they're just like the whole time and shit. People tend to stay away. And that's good.
Yeah, they get out of your way fast.
Yeah, I broke down and bought masks. They just won't be here till tomorrow. So I'm going to be part of that mask crew.
No, I mean, the CDC recommends it. My sister.
I have some coming.
Oh, you have some coming too, John?
Yeah.
Nice.
Some stylish shit.
Nice. I'm fortunate enough to know a couple sewers. So my sister made Mary and I about a half dozen masks. And then also our seamstress made us about 4 or 5 cloth masks, and they're really nice. They're where you can put the filter inside of them and stuff. So
yeah.
You have a seamstress.
Yeah, we do have a seamstress. Because
you, John?
Yeah, come on now. Have you seen John? Have you seen my vineyard?
Idea.
Have you seen my vineyard?
For seamstress.
John, who hems your pants? Good Lord.
That's not a horrible idea because I am tall and thin, and my ideal size is like 29, 34. So,
well, do you want me to get you in contact with my seamstress?
Yeah, send me your seamstress, and I'll judge against my seamstress, and we'll see.
Well, apparently from your seamstress, you don't have one, so the competition will be very easy.
Yeah, my seamstress is me.
Yeah. So
Me with clothespins.
so back
and
to
staples.
back to the social distancing, like at my job and stuff. Like I've been a social, like you know how they have like social justice warriors. I'm like a social distance warrior. Like I'm always coming up to people because I'm a manager in training and stuff. And like to me, this is very important stuff. Like I am still working. I'm an essential employee. I'm out in the public, and I expect people to be taking this shit seriously. So I am a social distance warrior. And I like anytime someone's standing too close, it's like, hey, you're standing too close. You need to spread out. And like, I'm like a fucking daddy over here telling their fucking kids to spread out, like constantly at work. It's like, spread out. You're too close. Only two of you could be here at a time. Hey, stop it. Too close. Like all the fucking day, all day at work. That's all I'm doing. I swear to God right now is telling people to back the fuck off and stop being so close.
Yeah.
I am
That's hilarious.
social distancing warrior right here.
Yeah.
Hell
If I can
yeah.
smell your
Oh,
cologne or your
out.
perfume, you're too close, man.
Exactly.
Quit standing downwind from me, man.
I mean, which is a good thing. I mean, people need to be a little bit more aware of their surroundings. Like some people are still taking this as a joke, which they shouldn't be. But there's a lot of people that are still taking this as a joke. And I'm pretty much just there to be like, hey, you may take it as a joke, but not here. You're not taking it as a joke here.
Yeah.
You could take it as a joke, like on your own fucking time, but not on my time while you're working in this place. Like, take it seriously here. If you want to go home and not take it seriously, do whatever the fuck you want, but take it seriously here.
Yeah. You're in a position to do something, and by not doing it, like, that's...
I'm just
like,
as bad
you
as
like to
everybody
sleep
else.
at night.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So fucking tell those guys what's up.
Yeah. If I do nothing, that I am part of the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck that. Call those bitches out.
So how is family life over there in the Thurston and Renteria household?
It's pretty much the same, dude. I work from home. Vanessa's here a lot more, which is pretty awesome. And it looks like, I don't know if this is too personal, but unemployment's looking good, you know? Like,
Nice.
Nice.
I know
what are
the
those
stock
noises?
market. Can you hear me?
Oh, it's me typing.
Oh.
Hi.
I had to get rid of a GIF that was in our chat. I just didn't want to look at it anymore. So I start. Everyone still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, all I could hear was you typing and like the bloop, 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 bloop. Sorry. Keep going, John. I'm sorry.
So, what was I saying?
About
Unemployment's looking pretty good. Like, I kind of get now why the stock market is doing so good, because it's like more than what most people make. So it's like, yeah, there's a bunch of people unemployed, but they're actually making more money than they would working.
Yeah, it's because
Pretty
they're
crazy.
It's because they're getting their normal 60% on top of a $600 bonus from the government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, I mean that's
It's good.
if you have it, it's pretty good. Which is, you know, it's been really hard, kind of a struggle for a lot of people to get unemployment and like some of the personal protection acts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I heard stimulus checks are going to start rolling around next week, from what I hear.
Sweet.
Oh yeah, and that's coming too.
So
Supplemental income.
yeah, let's see how much it's. Let's see how much it
Do
actually.
another one.
I don't know, man. You know, like it's already a lot of money. You know, they're trying to bail out a lot of people between like big corporations, small business, this stimulus. Like, I don't know if they'll actually post another stimulus or not. We'll see. I guess we'll see.
I imagine this whole sheltered home thing's probably going to extend out Like I think we were talking about it before. I think they're just doing it 30 days at a time to not to avoid any kind of panic out there. It's a lot easier to say 30 days than it is to be all right. We're going to be sheltering in place till June and shit.
Yeah, that's what I hear too, man. I hear it's just going to be, like you said, 30 days at a time, practically week by week, figure out what's going on. Because I know a lot of studies are saying that, if we don't prolong this till like fucking into July, August, it's just going to come back even worse or better. I think it's all about like what China did. They pretty much locked it down until there was no more new cases.
Yeah.
But they are obviously in a different type of society than we are, so they're allowed to lock down their people. Right now we're doing the social distancing. It's not even a quarantine. It's just social distancing and a stay-at-home order. It's not even really legally binding, pretty much.
No.
But in China, like it is, you're in your house and you don't fucking leave your house at all. So we'll see. But China didn't lift their lockdown until like they had no new cases.
That's probably it's probably what we'd want to do. I mean, I even heard like probably before going back out there should probably be tested before resuming their daily activities anyway and shit before getting unleashed on the public, which is probably not feasible with how many people we have out there. But
well, it
would be nice.
It's not about how many people are out there. It's about legally, can you stop people from leaving their house?
Yeah.
In the United States, no, you cannot stop people from leaving their house. So if you wait till there's no more cases, well, you have to lock down for like 4 weeks, complete lockdown. You will have your groceries delivered to your house. Do not leave your fucking house. Don't leave your property. That is how it's going to get done. But legally, they cannot tell us to do that.
Yeah.
At least right now, legally, they can't.
Yeah.
I mean, legally, we could
riot.
Like legally, we could all be together right now, and there's nothing they could do about it. Like for businesses, it is a misdemeanor to be operating, but technically, they cannot tell us that we cannot mingle and hang out. Like we are doing this on our own will, and yes, it's a government mandate, but we can't get in trouble for it if we were all in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
But we are doing the right thing.
Yeah. We're being very responsible right now.
Yeah, look at us.
At our homes, drinking beer, talking.
Yeah.
Responsibility, baby.
But, the problem is there's a lot of people that are not taking it as seriously as we are. And that's the problem. Like we still had, even though Washington State, we are flattening the curve a bit, there's still over 1,000 new cases this last week and over 200 deaths, like our cases are still going up. Testing is still a problem here. So of course people aren't getting tested, and like people that are, think they might have it, they're telling people to not get tested, not telling people to not get tested. But if you're asymptomatic, they're telling you like, well, let's save the testing for people that do have it. Does that make sense?
For sure. I think that's kind of what was getting me the most down. I think it's just that we kind of went into the weekend with some positive news about the curve flattening and stuff like that. And then on Monday, I think they hit like, I think it was in New York too, where it's like the most deaths, like a record amount of deaths for a single day. And then they broke that record on Tuesday, and then they broke that record again on Wednesday. I was just like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
Well, they're at like
last week I saw a bunch of videos about how next week which is this week, it's ending now, is going to be the worst week. Hopefully, if we're lucky, that's the peak. It won't get beyond that, but it was kind of foreseen that this is going to be like a really bad week.
See, the problem is,
and
man,
it was easily.
Yeah, it was a terrible week. But the problem is they said that last week, but they moved it to this week. This coming up, the week of the 12th. They're like, oh, this next week is going to be the worst one. So how many times are the researchers going to be like, oh, sorry, we messed up. This next week is going to be the worst one.
People just need to stay the fuck home, man.
That's when are people going to realize that people are dying out here?
Yeah, exactly, man. Like, and people need I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to our governor saying, "Hey, you have to wear a mask everywhere. Everywhere you go, you have to wear a mask. We'll have patrol people outside. If a cop sees you without a mask, we're gonna fine you. Like, you have to wear a mask wherever
I
you
think
are."
that's fair. That's
You
a
know?
fair ask, I think. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, even if the masks are only as good as keeping other people safe. Okay, so let's just say, because a lot of these cloth masks that we're all wearing, because we do not have N95 masks, they're for keeping other people safe, not yourself. You're still going to get infected from other people, but the point of the mask is to not infect anybody else. That's good enough. If everyone's wearing a mask and they're not spreading their disease, that is good enough. You know, but it's kind of defeats the purpose of wearing a mask if other people around you are not, because the mask that we're wearing, the general public, are still going to get sick.
Yeah, for sure.
So unless everyone is wearing a mask, it defeats the purpose, because it's only there to make sure other people don't get sick.
How's your guys' palms these days? I know mine are just all chapped and chafed up from washing my hands.
Red as fuck,
Compulsively.
man. Like, the back of my hands
My
are
hands
so
have been
red.
pruny.
Yeah. I can't even beat off anymore for it'll cause a fire, man. Too much friction.
Yeah.
This virus is taking everything from me.
Myself an Indian burn.
Well, you can't say that anymore, John.
It's an enchilada. Sorry.
Native American burn,
Yeah.
John. Please.
Yeah, come on. You know, yeah, they're red, chapped, and dry as fuck. I tried this new hand sanitizer they had at work, and it went on like soap. Like, it took forever because it had like this super moisturizer stuff in it. And then it made my hands sticky, and every single time I got my hands a little bit damp, it got like super slippery. Yeah, I didn't like it.
I think they thought that was regular, like, hand sanitizer, but it was really just soap.
No, it said hand sanitizer on there. It said hand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know, but it just felt like soap. But it said hand sanitizer. I think they like overdid the aloe vera or whatever was in there. But no, I am washing my hands constantly. It is borderline annoying how much I wash my hands.
Yep. At least we'll all have the habit by the end of this.
Like, I've always been like a hand person. Like, I've always hated having dirty hands. So I was usually I was a really good hand washer because I hate having dirty hands and everything. But like, I'm washing my hands excessively, and it's borderline annoying. You know, like, sometimes I like at work I wash my hands before I pee, and then I wash my hands after I pee, just because I have dirty hands. So I don't want to get like dirty dick syndrome.
Dirty dick syndrome.
But
That dick cheese.
Dude, I've been sneezing so hard, I swear to God, it feels like I cracked a rib or something. So every time I sneeze, it hurts now. And I'm just like, Eric, you're being so weird. But I read, I guess Billy Crystal did the same thing. Billy Crystal sneezed on the set of, what was it? The Princess Bride, and broke a rib.
really,
So I guess you can.
Maybe.
I'm just going to have to write it out, though. Hopefully they just heal themselves.
How many up?
I'm not going to a fucking hospital. I'll tell you that.
I don't think there's anything you could do for a broken rib anyway.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's just
Write
sit
it
there
out.
and write it out. Yeah, and for the rest of your life, it'll hurt.
Well, that's good.
Well, I cracked my sternum in like 7th or 8th grade,
Uh-huh.
and it still hurts to this day. Like, if
Oh,
I put,
really?
yeah,
Yeah.
like John said, it's just gonna hurt you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's cool. I can
It's just one
probably
of
live
those
with that.
things. Yeah. Speaking of painful things, my toe, I think I might have to get some kind of like operation on it, maybe, because it feels like my second to last toe on my left foot. It's like my toe towards ACL or something.
Oh yeah,
My step, it like hurts, but if I like bend it without flexing, it doesn't hurt at all. But if I like put pressure on it and like actually use the tendon, it hurts.
like, is the actual toe itself, or like
It's like underneath the toe, and it feels like it's just.
like in the middle of your
I
foot?
looked it up, and yeah, well, no, not really in the middle of my foot, just like at the base of that second to last toe. And I tried looking it up, and it's something like marble syndrome, where the way people in the past described it, because it's like an old issue, is like you had a marble in your foot, under your foot, and when you step, it just hurts. And yeah, it's usually a tendon thing that's like slipped off or something, so I might have to get some kind of procedure on my toe. It doesn't hurt all the time, which is weird. If I massage it, it goes back to normal, but yesterday, oh my god, I could not get it back to normal.
I'm pretty sure we talked about this last pod about being a Google medicine guru.
Oh yeah. I was just trying to find something about it, like, is there anything I can do? And they said, like, massage it, try and stay off of it. The main advice is, like, don't use it then.
I'll call my orthopedic guy. He's married to my seamstress, so I'll kill two birds with one stone.
There you go. I do know,
I have an orthopedic guy, Eric.
The foot is a kind of a weird body part, because there's like so much like foot pain that comes around that you can't operate, or you can, but it's not really going to take away the pain, like the plantar fasciitis or whatever. Like you could operate on it, but
fascist.
Yeah,
it'll grow more fascists.
Yeah, it will grow more fascists. It's not really going to do anything for you.
Yeah,
I know
there's a reason. There's a whole field of doctor for the foot.
Yeah, I know
complicated thing.
When I was in high school, when I tore my knee, the doctor was like, "Well, you get surgery on it right now, and it will feel better. But when you're 40, no matter if you take the surgery or not, it's going to feel the same." So I did.
Good.
Yeah. So I'm just going to not do the surgery. I'll just deal with the pain right now, and then I guess the pain when I'm 40.
Yep. That's one of the main reasons I didn't want to do high school football at my high school, because it was a pretty intense league over there, and literally everyone that was on defense had some kind of leg injury. The varsity people, like, they all had surgeries on their freaking leg, and I'm just thinking, like, am I really going to deal with this when I'm 40 just so I could play some sport?
Yeah, especially if you're not like one of those like athletes that's going to get a college scholarship, like full ride.
Yeah.
Or
I'm not,
not
6'5".
You know.
I'm pretty tall, but I'm not huge. I'm not 260 pounds, 6'8". I'm not going to the pros. I know that now. I knew that back then.
Yeah.
So,
well,
if I'm super lucky, college football.
Yeah, well, but if you're super lucky, college football, at least you'd have like a full ride scholarship. But like sometimes it's not worth it, man. I did some high school sports. Yeah, I did like wrestling, high school sport, and I was pretty good at it till I blew out my knees, and then I wasn't good at it anymore. And then I did the same thing you did. I did a risk assessment, and I was just like, man, me destroying my knees is not worth it to me.
Yeah,
I mean, especially for wrestling. I mean, wrestling you get scholarships, but it's not as glorious or of a sport as like football. They don't hand out scholarships for wrestling, and a lot of
not a lot of spots too. Like, how big is a wrestling team?
I don't know, a couple people per weight division, so you'd have like 105 to heavyweight, so I don't know, maybe 40 people.
Yeah. You have 2 strings of 11.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 strings of 11.
Yeah.
Or football.
Yeah. Well, I'm not quite sure how.
Yeah, there's no standard.
How college works. I only knew how like high school worked, and there was the JV team, which could have it unlimited, and then the senior, the varsity team, which I was on, which was just one person per weight class.
Yeah. If I were to join anything, wrestling would be probably my worst sport that I would be a part of. That, like, in terms of skill, because I'm all upper, no legs, tall, not very close to the earth. Like, my balance is awful.
Oh, yeah.
That would be the worst one for me. I would get annihilated.
Yeah, I was pretty good at it. I joined wrestling because this may sound like fucked up, but there was a lot of politics in middle school and high school with like religious groups and coaches and stuff like that. A lot of religion, a lot of religious and religion was played a fact in high school and middle school sports, especially with like basketball and stuff like that. Because I loved playing basketball. Like I was a good point guard, good.
So who was gatekeeping this? Was like, if you're not Mormon, you're not going to get spots?
Pretty much. Like there's this guy that was terrible at basketball, and he made the varsity team over me. And like I was actually good, and I practiced. I loved basketball. Like basketball was my favorite sport to play. Like I was a good point guard. Like I was a good dribbler, good passer, good shooting guard. Like I was really good at basketball, but I never made the varsity team. Like there was always a couple people in the same church group that always made it like above me. And that's why I joined wrestling. And I was like, you know what? In wrestling, how you make varsity is destroying your opponent. And that's what I did. You beat your opponent, you're on varsity. And every other week we had varsity tryouts. So if like the JV guy came up and beat me, he would be on varsity for 2 weeks.
Oh.
You know, so
Damn.
they're like, yeah. So there was always competition in wrestling. And it was just you.
Yeah.
You know, of course, there was kind of a little bit of a team game going on, because if your team won the most matches, like your team would win. But it was mostly individual. So it was like the only person that's going to stop me from being varsity is myself.
There it is.
And
yeah, I believe it, man. Yeah. I don't know what it's like up in the Idaho, Utah area, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of politics in my high school. The quarterback for varsity, shockingly, was the son of the principal, and was for some reason the shortest guy on the team, which usually the quarterback is a very tall individual.
Usually
good at throwing, you know, and he wasn't really varsity material for either one, but you know, he was the principal's I was going to say daughter, principal's son, so I guess
he was such a shitty player, it might as well have been, right?
Yeah. That sucks, man, you know.
Yeah, it does, man.
That's something we all deal with.
It is. It made me a better person, though.
El Paso, being a tall, lanky white kid in El Paso sometimes doesn't yield good results.
Yeah.
Like a foot taller than everyone else, but also weighs less.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, man.
Yeah.
You know, we go through
that
it.
ain't life, you know. School ain't life.
I mean, you learn at a very early age about, maybe earlier than what you should, about like bullshit politics. You know, when like religion is directly affecting anything you do, you learn at an early age. It's like, you know what? It's a fucked up world out there.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, it is.
Eric, you've been a little quiet on this podcast. It just kind of seems like there's aura around you. That's like,
doesn't it? It feels like that. It looks like it, definitely, from the,
you know, it just feels like there's something on your mind that you are not telling us right now.
Oh, no, nothing. I think it's just the allergies.
Yeah.
I had to step away for a minute to blow my nose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good, man.
At least I hope it's allergies.
Oh, it's definitely the allergies.
What do you guys have planned for dinner tonight?
You know, I haven't thought about dinner tonight. I'm planning on
Pizza.
drinking some beer for dinner tonight. I don't know. I think I'm going to make some chicken piccata tomorrow, though.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I've been doing lately, is really getting down on dinners and stuff. So, you know, just home all the time, have a lot more time on your hands. Been able to plan out some nice meals. Going to do some carne asada tonight. So I cleaned the grill all up because I've had it pretty much closed down for all winter. Finally brought it out. It's really dusty still, so I cleaned it all out. It's ready to go, baby.
It started sprinkling though.
Yeah, it started sprinkling. Now the sun's out again, so hopefully we're good for the rest of the
Yeah, hopefully. It's pretty sunny out here. from what I saw on the weather report, it's going to be another perfect day where we can't do really anything.
Yeah.
A travesty. This whole week has been a travesty just because the weather has been damn near perfect.
Yeah.
And you can't really go to the beach. You can't hit a trail up. None of that.
Yeah, isn't that dumb?
I'm going outside. It sucks.
I'm pretty lucky as far as the location here at the house. We have like a veritable forest in our backyard, pretty much. So there's like all these trails that goes down into just like woodland area. I mean, freaking, you're in there, and I swear to God, it feels like you're camping, like you're out in the middle of nowhere or something. Cool. I've been going out before because I have like early morning meetings, so I've been trying to get up kind of early. Then I go out there and I do like a jog and stuff. It's killing me though, dude. Like freaking just like spring has sprung. So I am just like freaking huffing and puffing my way through it. Like freaking just come back with just snot all over my face and stuff. Horrible. There's got to be a better way. Like Claritin has stopped working for me. It doesn't work as well as it used to. I got to figure something else out. I haven't yet. Is that good? Is that the stuff?
That D. Yeah, you need the D. It's really good. I don't know if it'll help you. It's like I'm sure it'll help up to a point, but yeah, if you're in the forest completely, it's all dry out there. I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
it's all up in there. All up in your
it's
nose.
pretty nice too. Like leaving the house that early. Usually, like just going around stuff. There's a lot of people just out and about in the neighborhood, but getting up that early and stuff and doing that, there's like nobody around, so you can just social distance your ass off that early.
Dude, have the birds and just every creature just been louder, you think, this year?
It seems like it. I saw some pictures of shit smelling Los Angeles and just like before and after of what it looks like, what it looked like before and now with social distancing and how fast the smog's actually cleared up out there. It's crazy. Bizarre.
Dude, I love it. It's one amazingly positive thing about this whole thing is it's really improved just the outdoors in general.
Dude, I haven't put gas in my car in like 2 months. It's just there.
Yeah, it's great. Outside my window, we have a golf course like right behind our building, and it's home to what sounds like 10,000 frogs all going at it.
Oh, really?
They're just, it's their ribbiting is so loud. Like I can close my window and I can still hear just the thousands of them. It sounds like the ending of that Incubus song, Transmission. You know how at the end, I don't know, it's like a 8-minute song. At the end, it's like a minute and a half of just frogs outside.
Yeah.
It's that exact sound. Just, it's so loud. They're
amazing.
like cicadas almost.
Nature.
Yeah, it is pretty nice. You hear the woodpeckers out there.
Oh yeah, dude! I
Like,
freaking woodpeckers every morning, just pecking away.
Yeah, classic spring sounds.
Nature's taking it back, man.
Which I'm fine with.
We were just talking, John, man, about LA. I don't think LA smells like shit anymore because nobody's hanging around. You can see a picture. You can actually see clear skies out there now.
That's a shame.
Yeah, isn't it a shame? We got to find something else to talk about.
Because I'm not going to be there. You know, it's all hearsay at this point because next time I go to LA, it's going to smell like shit. So
right. For all I know, these images are doctored. That's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
Definitely. I didn't get offered, but I got encouraged. Well, not even really encouraged, but like a thought. Like my manager was like, "Hey, there's this job opening in California for a manager job. How would you feel about that?" And I was like, "Well, how close is it to Disneyland?" She's like, "Oh, it's actually pretty close." I was like, "Sorry, I'm not going to move there, but I'm not going to take a management job in California." But the thought is like, being that close to Disneyland doesn't sound like that bad of an idea.
No, that'd be amazing.
But I'm definitely not moving to California.
Well, good. We got to keep this podcast going.
Oh, yeah, man. Especially right now, man. No, we need this podcast. I love this podcast. I love what's going on.
I wonder if all the bottle caps. I have a beer right here, and like the actual cap, the twist off cap, is like serrated in the middle. I wonder if they're all like that. Looks like a little fireball.
What do you mean serrated in the middle?
It's like you probably can't see this. Well, maybe if I hold it up to the light.
Yeah, like that. I see that. Yeah,
That hole there. Yeah, there you go.
I think that's just designed for like certain companies do that.
Probably. Kind of cool.
Eric, are you excited to go back to normal life, or are you afraid to go back to normal life?
I'm afraid, John, man. No, I'm actually, I haven't been, I don't think it's that bad, the whole situation and not having to go anywhere. I mean, I'm definitely saving more money. I mean, I guess that money that I'm supposedly saving, I'm probably dropping it more and keeping my fridge stocked with alcohol, but.
Yeah, there is that. So, I don't know if you listened to any of the press conferences or anything, but so from the sounds of it, they're gonna open up society like the same way they close it down.
Mm-hmm.
So just opposite. So first we're gonna ban like the shelter in place, so you'll be able to walk around, but like big gatherings are still gonna be banned of like 10 or less. And then 2 weeks later we'll do 50, and then a week later we'll do 250, and then so like even when like everything supposedly goes back to normal, quotation marks, like it's gonna take another month and a half for business. Like after this is all said and done, like after like whenever they decide to do this, it's still gonna be another month for a lot of people to go back to work. Like after that,
yeah,
because they're gonna wait another 3 weeks.
I mean, it's a smart move. Probably should ease back into things. I saw a dumb post. I'm part of this neighborhood watch app and stuff, like where people can just post on there about what's going on in the neighborhood, and like some idiot posted about probably a Trump supporter posted about how like we're flattening the curve now and things are looking up. Like they should just flow everybody back and get everybody back to work now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like freaking the reason why stuff's dying out is because what we're doing is working.
Yep.
You fucking moron. If we just open the doors wide open, we're gonna go right back to where we were.
Yeah, I think
that's just a fool.
Yeah.
Yeah, UW researchers are like, if we don't extend this till at least June, like it's gonna be all for nothing. If you just release the gates before June, like it's just gonna come back.
This whole 2 months is gonna be for absolutely zero worth.
Yeah,
there would be no reason for it.
I am kind of worried a little bit about. I don't know if you guys have read too much about the Spanish flu or watched any videos about it. I am kind of worried about the second wave because the Spanish flu took 2 years for it to fully like go away. And the first wave was kind of like how it is now, but the second wave like pretty much affected like everybody. And then everybody was getting sick and dying. It wasn't just like the elderly and vulnerable, because the flu, it got like a different strain going on. So I'm kind of worried about the second wave, because if the second wave happens and we still don't have a vaccine, or if it's a different strain and we don't have a vaccine for that, and it affects like now it's going to affect like the 20-year-olds and the babies and the kids and the teens and everybody in between, like underlying health issues, that is scary.
Well, that's that's the deal, right? Our freaking like viruses are fucking smart, right? They adapt. They're like the Velociraptor in Jurassic Park and shit. Like fucking, they're gonna learn how to open doors and stuff. They're clever girl.
Yeah. Granted,
they remember.
I'm kind of an optimist, so our vaccines can be created a lot quicker.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was a big part of it. Is I'm reading it right now, January 1918, and they didn't have a vaccine for some time.
Yeah, but they also didn't have airplanes or commercial travel or cars or anything.
But also not the education of a pandemic like they do now.
Well, but they were ordered to wear a mask, and you could,
Yeah, but they're still flinging their shit out of their actual window onto the street.
Yeah, I mean, you have your ups and downs. You have your ups and downs. You have the Spanish flu, which there wasn't that much travel, but there's flinging shit like down the street, but you also have like our society now to where everyone is connected with everybody. We have cars, we have transportation, we have planes, we have cargo coming in from everywhere. You know,
Do you think that? Do you think this kind of resolves the whole anti-vaccine movement? That lets that problem take care of itself.
no, there's
Just
gonna
as
be
far as
no.
well, just as far as like, let's say either you, you second guess your belief system and you convert over to being a vaxxer, or you don't and you die off. So that's just kind of like it'll take care of itself, probably.
I guess it's kind of taking care of itself right now.
The world is balance.
Well, you know, like the thing is, like right now, there's like before this whole coronavirus thing, there was diseases that were cropping up that haven't came up in like years, like decades, 50 years plus. They haven't had new cases for it, but because of anti-vaxxers, they're coming up. You know, that is a red flag, but they're not going to listen. But, you know, I kind of guarantee you these anti-vaxxers are the ones they're probably wearing masks and they're probably social distancing and they're doing everything they can. You know, I bet you if they would vaccinate, maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know, or maybe
No,
not.
I totally agree with
Or
you.
maybe not. You know, maybe they're in the whole let's get everybody sick type of group. Let's get everybody sick so everyone has immunity, and the people that die, they die. And if they're part of the group, then, well, I guess they're part of the group, you know?
That's eugenics. When you say that word, people don't like it. Okay, Eric, bye. Fuck you.
Yeah. Bye, Eric. Bye,
He did
Felicia.
not like your opinion. He
Bye,
hated
Felicia.
that. I think Eric dropped.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to have to get off soon because they want to get all up in here and start putting their stuff where it belongs.
All right, let's. All right, I'll see if Eric wants to stick around for a little bit.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. We did a little twofer.
Yeah, it was a good one too.
2 peas.
Yeah, a little 2 peas in a pod.
Little 2 peas shit, you know, man. Shit.
They wanted to organize your mess back there.
Yeah.
Understandable, man. Hey, well, I'm free tomorrow too, man. I'm free tomorrow. I mean, I might even be free tonight if things can work out. Like I said earlier in our last pod, you might be just bugging me to pod for in a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Which would be fine with me, man.
Move this whole setup into
What's up,
the
Eric?
living room.
Are we back?
Yeah, we're back.
What's up? I'm back. Sorry about that.
It's quite all right. So,
But
Eric, I think John is going to bounce out. So, do you mind sticking around and me and you talking for a little bit?
Oh, for sure. That's cool.
yeah, we're gonna organize some of this shit back here, so I can
Okay.
like move my chair. But
Hey, no
we
worries,
might
man.
move this whole setup into the dining room, which would be pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
That'd be nice.
Better
Cool.
lighting for sure.
Cool, man.
But yeah, all right.
Well,
right.
next time you want to pod, or if we pod tonight or tomorrow, you just let us know if you can or can't, and we will pod soon for sure.
All right.
All right, it was
Godspeed.
all right. Live long and prosper. No
Later,
handshakes. All
homie.
right. See you, John, man.
Cheers.
Or John Thurston. Sorry, I'm John, man.
Thirsty boy.
Solid snake.
All right. Now that no having seamstress dipshit is
Mhm.
gone, we'll talk about real deal.
We can
Real
talk
business.
about real business.
How do you feel about Hulk Hogan saying that this disease is a plague sent by God to weed out the unfaithful?
I think everyone has their own damn opinion, I guess. Whether or not I agree with it is another thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he does. I guess he makes sense in his own mind. You know, being eat your vitamins.
Yeah.
you know,
Say your prayers.
Say your prayers.
take
Eat your vitamins and stuff. You know, but
Yeah. He's never kept it a secret or anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
It's been his whole motif this whole life.
but I guess if I was religious, it'd be something that made a lot of sense. You know, it's like
For sure.
we've been living this life for too long, like unfaithfully, and like look how fast things are moving. It's time to get back to faith, which I guess if I was a religious person, like that, it would make more sense for sure.
I was feeling kind of similar to that, just like this is probably in a Thanos type of mind, like this is probably the universe self-correcting, like nature kind of, like weeding out. I don't want to say like weeding out the old and sick and stuff like that. I'm just saying like as far as kind of course correcting itself, that maybe we're definitely overpopulated as a society, and maybe it's horribly sad that all these people have passed away,
Yep.
but it kind of seems like maybe, I don't know, like other hands are at play, like fucking Mother Nature turned her back on us, man. All the animals are coming back and people are dying off. It's insane.
Well, it's interesting because, we have this idea of science and medicine, and that they're eventually going to make us live forever until something like this happens. And we realize that no matter what we do, we're still going to be mortal one way or another.
For sure.
Kind
of definitely puts things in perspective and stuff, just as far as what fragile creatures we actually all are.
And how we're all on borrowed time, man. Like this is, I would say this is probably like one of the best case scenarios for a pandemic. Like the time that we're living in right now, the severity of it. Yes, it is bad, and it, for underlying health issues and the older population, it is terrible. But I also kind of feel like we needed this for a bigger threat. Like this could have been worse. Like this could have had a 50% death rate. And imagine we have like over 1 million cases, 500,000 people dying if it was 50% death rate.
I think I saw somebody was talking about that and stuff. Like this is kind of a way to prepare for when the big one does strike and shit. Like the fucking another plague that just fucking eliminates half the population and stuff. So maybe this is all for a reason and stuff, and maybe we'll be ready next time, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe, but it also like I feel like this is gonna change the way people live. Like
For sure.
I don't know if I'll really ever shake another person's hand.
Right?
Like,
well, for real, like before 2020, did you ever fathom something like this would happen here? Like you typically hear about this stuff happening in faraway lands and stuff, and like this stuff tends to happen. It just never really happens here.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It is wild. It's really hard to put into words because, you watch movies about it, you read about it, you read about past stuff that's happened, and you read about like the Black Death and the plague and like all this stuff, Ebola and all this other stuff. And you really honestly think like that's not going to happen to us. Like we are in such a scientifically advanced species right now than we were even 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Like people talk about like the AIDS epidemic, and it's like AIDS really ain't got shit on this right now,
For sure. Well, you think about, man, fucking we haven't really been tippity top for like that long. Like fucking all these technological advancements and like all this progress that we made has really only been like in this last century and shit that we've kind of I guess made like a technological leap to the next step. Like it's all pretty brand new.
And it's because of bad plagues and viruses. Bad shit's happening.
Sure.
Like the measles and the mumps and polio. Like, like FDR in like the 40s, like polio was a terrible, terrible disease that you could get in the 40s and earlier.
For sure.
And they pretty much eradicated that. But what's scary about this one is, and I think what scared a lot of people, is this is a novel coronavirus, which means it's brand new. This is a brand new virus, never seen before. And as we're discovering species, as we're expanding on the wildlife, as we're crossbreeding, as we're eating more animals, as we're heating up the earth, like what scares me to death? This is what scares me to death. We are going to Antarctica, like the South Pole and Antarctica and fucking Antarctica, and like drilling like fucking 1,000 feet below to see samples and like get to that ancient ocean. Like, what if there's viruses underneath there that have been like permafrosted and they're just like dormant this whole time that we don't know about, man?
Yeah.
You're like, that stuff I think about is like, man, this is brand new. And like us as mankind, as explorers, as people that fuck up the earth, like what if there's a virus in the ocean that just needs a certain temperature? That, you know, that's what really killed the dinosaurs or some shit like that,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
because the earth heated up, you know, like there's stuff like that, man. Like, what if there's this virus that just needs a certain fucking average temperature of the earth, like in the ocean, and then all of a sudden, you know, there's crazy shit, man. And this is unknown. We are in 2020 and there's still unknowns in our own earth, and that scares the shit out of me. That's what scares me.
Here's an interesting question, just about as far as human nature goes. Human nature is what scares me. So let's say things do. I mean, as a species, we're pretty resilient. We're survivors. We survived some pretty fucked up stuff in the past, and
Agreed.
we'll probably be here for a long time. As far as human nature goes, let's say this thing gets worse. More cases, more people start dying, people out of work, people starting to go hungry, people worried about where they're going to live. We have maybe like another year of this or something where shit just is continually going downhill. At what point do humans as a species, do we overcome it? Does it like, I mean, it's like beautiful to think that everyone will rise to the occasion and overcome it together, and it'll bring the good out in people. Is it more, would you say, if things get worse, do we let our better side show, or do people start, I don't know, like turning against each other and being evil? And does it become like the Walking Dead type situation where, you know, neighbor turns against a neighbor and stuff like that? What path do you think we're on as far as that goes?
Well, I'll give you my fantasy prediction, and I'll give you the realist in me prediction.
Sure.
My fantasy prediction is this is making universal healthcare and universal like fucking money. Kind of sound good right now, doesn't it? Like a universal income, so everyone makes the same amount.
I mean, now probably the perfect time to implement something like that, or at least to take the first step towards that kind of future. For sure.
You have a capitalist mentality, but you still get like a universal income. That might sound okay. You're always going to get this base. Yes, the deadbeats are always going to be deadbeats, but they're only going to get this much. But the people that work hard for a living are going to get more on top of that. But a universal income kind of sounds good right now, doesn't it?
It does. It sounds sweet.
You know, I mean, you're still working. I'm still working, but that still sounds like a good deal. But I will say this though, Bernie Sanders universal or healthcare. That sounds pretty fucking good right now, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, it does.
You know, doesn't that sound pretty amazing right now?
Yeah, I think he might have been right.
Yeah,
he might have been right this whole time.
He's onto something. But the realist in me is like a Walking Dead situation, to where people, if this goes on for a year, people aren't going to have places to live. They're going to be like my house, like maybe like we're going to be bunkered up, guns toting, like don't touch my shit, you know, riots.
I mean, it really is a scary thought. Like you have one house that's has a bunch of stockpile of water in the garage, and then the house next door has a stockpile of guns. Who's going thirsty, them or you? Like really?
The people with the guns.
Yeah.
And then this brings back to the question: is getting rid of your guns, is gun rights really that big of a problem? Maybe they should give guns to everybody. That way, everyone has an equal chance, right? Right.
Universal health care, universal pay, and universal guns for everybody.
It's like right now, like if the criminals are the only ones that have the guns, guess who's winning?
Yeah. Right.
You know, that's why gun rights are important.
I hate to keep going back to Batman, but somehow
Yeah,
everything goes back to Batman.
And that's okay,
the
man.
Joker, yeah, for sure. The Joker has a good speech in there when they're during the interrogation scene
Mhm.
and stuff, where he's like, like when the chips are down, these civilized people will eat each other alive and
Yep.
stuff, and yeah, they have that whole ending with the ships and the bombs, and
Yep.
it's all nice. They don't end up blowing each other up. They, in the end, they do the right thing. Is that fantasy or is that fiction? Like in real life type situation, that's probably not going to happen, right?
I don't
Like
think so.
freaking, yeah, people are going to blow that boat up.
Yeah, people
Save
will blow that
themselves.
boat up, man. Like,
Yeah.
that
It's a beautiful thought.
that was a scene in a movie to prove the Joker wrong.
Yeah.
Well, he probably should have been proven right.
Yes. When all actuality, he was probably right. In
Yeah.
a real world type
In a real
setting.
world. And maybe that's where Nolan went off and did the wrong thing. Maybe Joker should have been right there. And maybe Batman should have had to suffer the consequences of that whole boat blowing up.
It would have made the third movie maybe a little more interesting to have to go through that and stuff. Like maybe,
It would have made more sense
Is,
for him retiring. That's for sure.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You
Maybe
know?
he's kind of just like jaded
Because
on
then he
his
would have
belief systems.
he
like,
would have
completely
really been
turned
the
on its
bad.
head.
He would have really been the bad guy instead of like sacrificing himself for Harvey Dent for his heroism. Like him being the
Yeah.
bad guy because he let that whole ship die. Oh my god, that's a great plot twist.
Isn't that? That's a
Yeah.
way better, dude.
Yeah.
He was so sure that people would do the right thing, and in the end, he was wrong.
Wow.
And maybe that would have been better.
My mind is blown right now.
Listen to this, Hollywood. Give us Batman. We'll take care of it.
Mm-hmm. But in all reality, man, that's why I know places to go. We are in a super populated place. I know where to go that's not populated. I have basic survival skills. You know,
Shit. I hope
but-
it doesn't come down to that, but I think you really have to be prepared for that type of situation.
I think you do too.
Nowadays.
But do you feel like, and this is like a little bit of a cynical part of me. Do you feel like almost to reset, you almost have to go to that? Like-
Possibly, yes.
Do you honestly give me an honest opinion? Do you really feel like the direction America and world politics and society and capitalism and non-capitalism and communism and all this stuff is going is the right direction for humanity?
I don't know.
Like,
I
look
mean,
how much greed and fucking gluttony and I'm not just trying to be religious because the greed is for sure, and gluttony, just eating all this
Yes.
food and throwing away all this food that you don't need, and is there something wrong with us that maybe we do need this?
Mm-hmm. I can tell you that one thing that does scare me is that this could be the most opportune time for some kind of government shakeup. I hope it's in the right direction. I hope we're not to echo Star Wars, but this is kind of like how the Emperor came into power and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
With just people's beliefs and stuff just shaken and putting your faith. Dark Knight again, putting your the mob and shit, putting your faith in somebody that you don't really understand,
Yeah.
or somebody you don't really comprehend who has their own kind of agenda. This could be really dangerous times. I don't know.
It could be, man, because think about our government right now, man.
How
Think
close are we to martial law?
Yeah.
Shit.
Look how much in the federal government and these politicians and how much money they make and how well off they are. You know what pisses me off? You check this out. There's these basketball players right now, these celebrities, these athletes. They're bitching about not being able to play the game and play the game in front of people, and yet they are multimillionaires. They are getting paid for this season. They were some of the first ones tested in the United States. Fucking basketball players tested for the coronavirus before anybody else. But yet they are bitching that they cannot play a season in front of people. You know, how did we become such a society to where athletes mean more than anything else in this world?
For sure. And I don't even know what they're bitching about. I imagine they're still getting paid.
Oh,
I mean,
they
still
are.
have their contracts.
They
yeah.
are getting paid. They're getting their contracts and all this stuff. It's like, but these are like maybe 1,000 people in America. These athletes, 1,000. It's like maybe, you know, that old adage, sacrifice the few to save the many. You know what I mean? It's like these people are bitching for what? Because you have stellar fucking, you could dunk a basketball. So fucking what?
Yeah. It kind of seems pretty unimportant nowadays.
It does,
be able
man.
to dunk a basketball.
Like, who gives a shit? You know,
Yeah.
like when
Maybe this
when money
maybe
is
this does
nothing-
like kind of revert celebrity culture a little bit.
like when money is nothing, guess who wins? I do, because your millions ain't worth shit to
Sure.
anybody.
It's like in social media right now and stuff like that. And you have celebrities, Instagram influencers too, like just fucking posting about how they're doing their part, and they are quarantined in their house and in their multi-million-dollar mansions and shit, like it's something bad. And maybe this is what it's going to take for the public to turn on that whole celebrity culture.
And they should,
Stupid
man.
as it is. Yeah.
And they should, man. Like, why are we idolizing these fucking fake motherfuckers? These fake
Right.
fucking people that don't do shit for anybody except for themselves.
Exactly.
You know, like when I do shit for people, I do shit for everybody. I don't do shit for myself. Like if I'm hanging out with you and like I give you beer, I give you the beer because I fucking want you to drink it. I don't give you the beer in expecting something in return. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like I just
Hold on, I'm clipping a little bit. There we go.
These-
That's cool.
these fucking fake motherfuckers, man, just like nickel and diming everybody selling these fucking $500 shoes to fucking $500 worthless shoes to people.
Yeah,
You
no
know?
shit, dude. No fucking shit.
You know, it's like, let's get back to fucking reality, man. You know, like Mary and I, we're like, we indulge a little bit in like material things, but they're not like outrageous. Like I have a Jeep, but it's a recreation vehicle that I use. Like Mary has a Switch. Like we don't have any like ungodly fucking crazy stuff. Like I don't own a $500 pair of shoes. I buy a little bit more expensive shoes that, you know, they do last a little bit longer, but I don't buy $500 pairs of shoes to put on my shelf.
No.
You know, like everything that Mary and I buy, we buy to use. Like everything I buy to use. I buy equipment to use it. You know, but I'm not one to buy a fucking $500 shirt because it says Gucci on it.
Right?
I'll wear my $3 Arizona shirt because it fits.
Exactly.
You know, that's what's wrong. You know, like I got this at the Goodwill. This shirt, it's a name brand shirt I got at the Goodwill. You know what I mean?
The shirt right here, I got an Amazon 6-pack for $15.
Exactly, man. And like
Right.
maybe that's where we're going wrong, man. We were relying on fucking these celebrity motherfuckers to dictate like what we spend, what we buy, what we're supposed to believe in. These fucking false idols. These motherfuckers are pieces of shit. Fuck them, man.
They are. Fuck them. The John Sandwich Show, you can take that to the bank. Fuck them.
Fuck them.
Until we're part of that society, then fucking we need to rethink this about fucking them. So
No, man. No.
if the door ever opens for us.
We'll never be a part of that society. We'll never be a part of that society, man, because we know better. We know better. We know what's real. We know what's not real. We're never going to be a Kardashian. You know? We're never going to be one of them.
Imagine that.
And that's okay. And that is
Imagine
okay.
that. Would you rather been raised the way you are, raised the way you were, born in the family you were, or would have been born into wealth? Do you think you're happier now, or you think you'd be happier the other way around? If you were like a Kardashian, like obviously these folks get by on name recognition alone and shit like that. They wouldn't be where they were. They weren't born a Kardashian.
Do you really think they're happy?
I don't know.
I'm happy.
Probably not.
You know, like
Probably not.
I love the way I was raised. I love where I was born. I love the way my family raised me from nothing. You know, like I didn't come from a rich family and you didn't come from a rich family.
Yeah.
You know, we came from practically nothing. I was eating ramen and fucking dollar
Sure.
store and grocery outlet food, and maybe not dollar store, but like grocery outlet, you know, great value, like just what everyone else, like what the normal people eat, what a normal struggling, barely making it family eats. That's what I ate, you know, and it's just, they taught me a lot, man. They taught me a lot about family values, being empathetic. Like
Empathy, that's a big one for sure.
yeah, like, dude, like you know, not a lot of people know this, but I'm a very empathetic person, and I wear that fucking loud and proud, man. You know, that's why I'm empathy to like almost to a fault, because I care about people so fucking much and care about what other people could do better for themselves and for their families and this and that, you know, like celebrities. Like, I don't follow celebrities on Twitch or not Twitch, but Twitter or whatever. It's like those, I don't follow fake ass fucking people, you know. I don't know, man.
Awful.
It is awful, man. Like, we just got into a rant,
We did.
but it's real.
Well, like tonight, like this is my happiness and shit. Like I cleaned my grill all up. It's all fired up, ready to go. I bought like 2 pounds of carne asada at Costco. I'm going to fry that up and shit and serve it to my family. That kind of stuff makes me happy. I love doing that. It's a pleasure to cook for people.
I love cooking, man. Cooking is my, it's my release. You know, just like,
It is nice, isn't it?
It is, man.
I like it.
like just I made some food 2 weeks ago, and Mary's like, I could tell that this wasn't made for love, right? It was just like a scratched up fucking 30-minute meal. I was like, was it better than this restaurant? So she's like, oh yeah, it was way better than that. But I could just tell you, like, you didn't put your heart and soul into it. You know, you were just like making something. It's just like good food, good people. That's what I love cooking. That's why I love 4th of July so much, because I got a bunch of friends coming over. You know, there's good drinks, and everyone's eating some good food. Everyone's happy, and you get to blow some shit up at the end of the night, you know?
Hopefully we're not doing this for 4th of July this year.
I hope not, man.
Hopefully we can be in person. Depressing.
It is, man. Like, even though like I get out of the house every single day because I still have to work.
Yeah.
It's really not the same, because it is go to work, go home, go to work, go home, go to work, go home. And it is social distance yourself away from the people at work. You know, like I don't have friends at work anyway, just because like I'm in a management role, and like it's not like I get to hang out with these people and be like real with people. Like, people just know me for probably my face. Like what John Man, like what my face says is what people know me. They're like, okay, he's a resting bitch face, kind of stern, tells you how it is, and, you know, just get shit done type of guy. You know, like I don't get real with anybody there because I can't. You know, like it's not my place to be friends with people.
So what?
In a
Telling me,
management, you know.
you're not friendly John Man at work?
No, I'm not friendly John Man at work.
Talking to people about their problems?
I am boss John Man at work. You know, so it's tough, man. So like, even though I go to work every day, I still feel like I'm social distancing myself from everybody. Because like at work, I always felt like before this even happened, I was already distancing myself from everybody, like from like the groups, like group people that are friends in like their own little group. I distance myself from that. Like, I'm just like an entity that oversees everybody. I'm not a part of any group at work, you know? So it's just like, I've been distanced at work for almost 3 years because I've been working on management, you know? So it's like, I don't know, man. And now it's just worse because now I don't see, you know, I see my wife with like, but like, if I'm going to be like socially distancing myself with anybody, it's going to be with my wife. Like, you podcasters know it's Mary. So it's like, I'm going to do it with her. But still, like, I miss you guys. I miss seeing like my family, like my uncles and stuff. I miss, you know, playing board games at my house with Wendell.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll definitely have to hug this out when we get back in the same room with each other.
Well, I don't know if I'll
Been a
hug
while.
yet. I don't know if I'll be ready to hug.
Reach out and touch me, John Man.
I really don't know if I'll be ready to hug when you guys get here, but I'll be ready to pod. That's for fucking sure, man.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. What's been on your mind lately, man?
I don't know. I guess the world works fine. Like work's been pretty busy. I think like the thing I'm most surprised about is it actually hasn't been so bad. Like I was a little scared like when they canceled schools and stuff, and just like the kids being home all the time, 24 hours a day, and how we're gonna incorporate that into our lives. Like pretty much right now, like Emily's work is not very it's not too demanding right now. Like obviously my girlfriend's like going through like she'll probably get another job here pretty soon, which is pretty good. It sounds like that's going to go through, which is great because like a lot of companies right now, there's like hiring freezes where they're not really picking people up. It sounds like she's going to get in just like under the wire there to be able to start a new job. But pretty much like practically I'm like the only one here that kind of like I'm still working a full-time job. Like I'm still online all day and like doing work all day. But I'm home, which is nice. But I think as far as our household, I think this whole situation is it's brought out the best in people, where people are chipping in more and doing their due diligence, and it seems like things are running pretty smoothly. So I don't really have any kind of complaints as far as being stuck here. I mean, it would be nice to go. I mean, I think the thing I missed the most, which is so weird to say, is just going out to a bar and like having a pint or something like that is like what I miss the most. Just
I miss
that freedom to be able to do that.
I miss that too. So like,
it'd be nice to get that back. Would be nice.
Yeah, I definitely miss that because that was usually Mary and I's date would be go to a local pub, grab a couple pub food, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And a few pints and start off our Saturday, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's it's great to have a couple beers at home, but there's just something different about it.
It really is, man. Like having beer either like at a bar or with your friends. Like that's what I miss, man. I miss having a beer with my friends. Like, yeah, you and I were drinking right now, but we're still separate. And there's definitely a different feeling. Like, because I still feel like I'm drinking by myself, to be quite honest.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Even though
I mean, it's a nice excuse.
Yeah, it's a nice excuse, but like at the end of the day, I'm kind of still just drinking by myself.
I'm still in my closet. I mean, I'm still in my garage drinking alone.
Yeah, so. You know, I do want to ask you this: like, how have you separated? Like, I know you did a lot of work from home before. How have you separated, like, now that your kids are out of school forcibly, like, how are you separating your work life from personal life, like, right now?
Right now, it's pretty good because we just have a bigger house. So it's, like, easier to stay apart from each other. So
do you have like, certain hours to be like, okay, don't hang out with me, like, daddy's working, like, just... Yeah.
So, like, right now, we have it where there's we still have like the whole 2 living room situation, but one's upstairs and one's downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm upstairs working while the kids are downstairs, like watching TV or playing video games.
Okay.
That helps to keep things quiet upstairs, and so I can concentrate on what's going on. Mm-hmm. So it's been pretty good, I think, so far.
Yeah. Well, that's good, man. Like, at least you're able to actually work from home, you know. With your kids being home, because I know a lot of people are struggling with like the whole work from home, because a lot of people didn't work from home before, and you're kind of used to it, but a lot of people are struggling from the work from home mentality with now your kids being out of school, and like, how am I supposed to separate my work from home life from my
honestly, the hardest shit is just the whole schooling thing and like keeping them working, because like obviously I think the school system was kind of caught with their pants down with this whole thing where there wasn't really an actual system implemented for something like this. Like even right now they have like assignments they can do online, but like none of it's graded, none of it's going to anything. Like it's kind of just meant to keep them sharp. So I think the hardest part I've had is just keeping people on task doing these things. Like Trent, my youngest, like he can't just log on and do all this stuff by himself. Like he needs help with it.
Yeah.
So like just finding the time to work a full-time job and do that at the same time, that's been kind of tough.
It's I guess you should really be glad that this didn't happen earlier in the year, because like they might have held back like every single student.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And honestly, it's kind of hard to kind of think about it. It's like, did your kids get the education they should have got? Like, cause it's been like a month and they're going to be out for end of June. So
yeah,
pretty much almost since Christmas, right? Midwinter break.
Yeah, and Emma's going to be going to her senior year, and it's just like, is she going to be ready for all that?
Yeah,
it's tough. Man.
It is tough. Like some kids, they're going to benefit from this because they were slackers or whatever. But what about like the non-slackers out there? They're really trying to get like these really good grades and college scholarships and all this stuff. Like, how is that going to affect like all these kids, all these high schoolers, like trying to get into really good colleges, and now they might not be able to because their academics just don't hold up.
Yeah.
Because of this thing, and that's like that's something that's not talked about right now.
It blows my mind, man. I could have never imagined this happening to us in our lifetimes. It's crazy.
And it's like, if this happened like 4 months earlier, they would have had to hold everybody back.
Yeah, probably have to redo that time. And that would suck.
And like Inslee, our governor, and he was saying like, starting school early just to get a little bit of a head start from the last school year that we missed. He's like, I just don't feel comfortable starting school early at all. It's like, does that mean you're going to postpone the start of school?
Yeah, right.
Like if you don't feel like comfortable, if you don't feel comfortable like starting in August early, like does that mean you're not going to feel comfortable starting it in September?
And it is tough to say right now because like people are dying. Like it's tough to say what the right answer for all this stuff is. I feel sorry for the kids that are seniors right now.
Yeah,
they don't get to walk. They don't get to experience like prom or anything like that. Like all that's shut down.
These are like life-changing experiences, man. Like my high school year, like walking down the aisle, that sense of accomplishment, knowing that I graduated high school, like that was a big thing. And that's a big day for a lot of people, and that's life-changing, man. And to not have that, you
got it ripped away from them, dude. That's not fair.
It's really not, man. You're just gonna get a diploma in the mail saying, "Hey, good job." It's like, I don't know. I know, like me walking down, like because I was one of the first people in my family to graduate high school. Walking down that line, getting my name called out with all my family, dude, that was life-changing for me.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna get one more beer.
Oh yeah. Well, I will keep this conversation going. Yeah, it was. I feel so bad for like these kids right now. They're, I hope they're able to recover. And what is good about this next generation, I guess the generation, 2 generations below me or above me, whatever you want to say. They're going to be a resilient generation. They're going to live through it, and they're going to, prosper.
And I'm back.
Oh, man, that was quick. God, I wish my beer fridge was that close. I'm going to go grab another beer.
Exactly. Okay. I'll hold down the fort.
Thank you. I was just talking about how kids could, at least the younger generation, will be able to prosper because they're more like a lot more resilient than we were, I think, when we were, just because of the technology age and shit.
Yeah, for sure. So I can say with confidence now that this is just the way these bottles are made here, that they have this little serrated top. It's kind of cool. So right now I'm drinking Laguinta's Super Cluster. It's a Citra Hop Mega IPA of intergalactic proportions. Actually, pretty delicious. I don't know the alcohol content. Oh, here we go. 8%. Jesus Christ, boy. I think it's really important when you're barbecuing meat. It's very important for high alcohol content, I think. It kind of gets you in the mood. to be more of a caveman and get into this. I totally cleaned out my grill today. As soon as I'm done with this podcast, I'm going to fire that sucker up and start cooking some meat. I'll also be serving a side of Mexican street corn, which John Man actually, even though I'm the Hispanic one, John Man actually introduced me to. And I don't think it was the last 4th of July. I think we're just having like a regular barbecue. And that's when John Man showed me the ways of Mexican street corn. And kind of, I think the best part of me and John Man's friendship is he's actually teaching me how to be Mexican, which is nice.
I try, man. I try. Well, I gotta
Thank
keep
you.
that those food roots going. You know, because I'm a food person. Like,
Yeah.
And that's why I like all cultures, because each culture, each group has their own set of food and their own spices and the way they cook meat and the way they cook their vegetables that I just fucking adore, because I fucking love food, man.
I think we were talking about this before and shit. Like, food's kind of like the international language of love, man. Just like freaking, you don't really fight about food. Like, food can bring cultures together and people together, and
unless you're
maybe
eating
if
pork.
if more like deals were done and more like the passing of laws and stuff like that, maybe if they were done over a nice meal, maybe people would get along a little better.
I agree with you, man. Like, honestly, like, I think these countries, they just need to sit down. They need to show their nation's drink, like whether it be a good lager.
Yeah,
I don't really like lagers, but a good beer or a good whiskey or something like that over the rocks, and like their main dish. Like, all right, this is our main dish. Like, taste this. Tell me you cannot make a deal eating this food. You know,
right?
People just need to cook more, man. People need to cook more, and that's what
Agreed.
it is, man. People need to. Well, the thing is, okay, what's amazing about food is you put a big dish, you make an amazing dinner or amazing brunch or whatever you're doing. You put it in the middle of the table. It's usually quiet for the first 5-10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
This is because people are loving it, and you can't help but to talk and have a good time while eating delicious fucking food.
For sure.
You know?
I think my breakthrough kind of as a person, just because I'm a person that doesn't usually spend a lot of money on myself, like as far as clothes go or like entertainment stuff. I don't typically, I have a lot of kids, so like I typically tend to pay it forward to them. Like, freaking, it's all about them now. It's not about me, it's about them. So in that terms, I can spring a lot more when it comes to food type stuff, because one thing I have learned is just like from before, when there was only one income in the house, like times were tough. You're feeding a lot of people. You just want to get whatever ingredients is going to fill up tummies and stuff like that. But now, like, things are a little bit easier, and I'm starting to learn like fresher ingredients, nicer cuts of meat.
Oh, yeah.
They make all the fucking difference in the world. Like,
oh yeah,
you really need to spring for the higher quality, for the better meal, for sure.
Well, I'm an advocate for this. I'm 100%. I would rather buy one nice steak a month than have 4 shitty steaks a week, or than have like one shitty steak a week. Mm-hmm. Like, I'd rather just spend all my steak money on one good piece of meat a month than have 4, once a week steaks.
Truth.
And that's how I spend my money, man. If I'm going to buy a piece of steak, which Mary and I, we don't eat a lot of steak. For one, it's hard for me to eat it. And for two, I usually spend quality money on a quality piece of meat, because I would rather have... Yeah. I'm not going to buy shitty steak. I am not going to do that. I'm going to make sure if I buy steak, it's going to be a good fucking steak.
One thing I did learn, which I didn't even know, was I bought two racks of ribs, like two big nice racks of ribs.
Pork or beef?
It was pork.
Okay.
It was pork.
Baby back?
And yes. And I realized, I was reading up on it, like how to cook like just the perfect fall off your meat bone or
Mhm.
fall off the bone meat. And you got to take that membrane in the back off and shit.
Yeah.
I never knew that. Yeah, you got to strip that shit out,
Well, you don't have to.
and then you slow cook it for a couple
Mhm.
hours, dude. And I fucking just like a good meal takes time.
Yeah.
It takes
Oh, yeah.
like fucking, yeah, it takes a lot of
It does.
thought and a lot of time. It's freaking you're making magic. You really
Yeah.
are. And I
Well,
pulled these
yeah.
these fuckers out, dude. I swear to God, just like I didn't even need to cut them. Like I could just like pull them apart
Yeah.
and serve things.
Mm.
Oh my God, the meat was fucking amazing.
Yeah, dude. Fork tender, right? You just
Mhm.
put a fork in there and it just comes out like nothing. Fork tender.
Yeah. I kind of want ribs now. Jesus Christ.
The ribs are delicious, man. I love making a good batch of baby back ribs, man. So do you boil
Yeah, for
them,
sure.
bake them? Like how?
The last ones I did, I baked at a low temperature. I took them out and then I basted them and shit in the
Mhm.
sauce, put them back in, and then broiled them for like 5 minutes until they
nice.
were like nice and crisp. Then
Nice.
pulled it out. Came out perfect. Dude.
So I have this pretty decent recipe for baby back ribs. So like I'll well there's a couple ways to do them, but like there's this one that I've made. So where you poach them, pretty much boil them
Mhm.
for like
Really?
yeah, you boil them for like 20-30 minutes in like really good salted water. It's almost kind of like a fast brine almost, right?
Okay.
So you boil them for like 30 minutes and then you put them in a pan and you could foil them like with foil and pretty much slow cook them for, I don't know, a couple hours. And it'll just get this like amazingly savory pork rib that you don't really like, depending on like how you eat your pork ribs, you don't need to put sauce on them. Like if you're doing barbecue, like you just bake them, whatever. But like this is like a piece of meat that you don't need sauce for.
Mhm.
Like you don't need to smother it with barbecue sauce. You just eat it like just the meat because it's so savory because you've poached it in that salt water
Yeah.
and then baked it for, until it was, fork tender. And
Mhm.
just, so
Great.
delicious. I love food,
So-
man.
With my carny tonight, I was gonna do Mexican street corn again. Like I
Mhm.
made it pretty epically. It's like off
Yeah.
the cob type stuff, and then
Yeah.
I threw in a bunch of mayonnaise.
Yep. I've actually
I'm-
started making mine off the cob because it's easier.
Yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
I'm thinking about tonight. A couple nights ago, I made a chipotle sauce from scratch.
Hmm.
I was thinking about throwing that in with the Mexican corn. I don't know. How do you feel about that? You think that would go?
Yeah, just a little bit of spice.
So,
Well,
Yeah.
I would just do it with your normal mayonnaise mixture and just put the chipotle spices in there.
okay,
Yeah, because like
I'll try that out.
the chipotle spices, they're just spices. So if you put the
Yeah.
sauce, you might as well just make the Mexican street corn the way you would before, and just add the extra spices to make it chipotle, like the extra,
Okay.
like the extra pepper. Like what are you thinking about using for the peppers? Like some chili powder,
Yeah.
and maybe some little bit of jalapenos,
hmm
and then
Oh my god. Oh, also, I'm sorry to change the subject
Oh, yeah.
here, but I've recently gotten really into jalapenos, and I made these killer jalapeno poppers with like cream cheese and stuff like that. I think like I fucking nailed the recipe.
Did
I
you-
think fucking if for like 4th of July, if God willing, we all get together. That's probably what I'll bring over.
All right.
Bring over some fucking Eric jalapeno poppers.
I'm down. I'm down with
So
some.
here, folks.
I'm
We're here, folks.
I'm down with some jalapeno poppers, man. Do you use ancho chilies for your chipotle mix?
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, so man, yeah. So I would I would make it.
The mix is already like it's already made like in a sauce. I just have like
Oh, is it?
leftovers. Yeah.
Oh,
I have
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
leftovers from.
I would just add it with then. I would just add it with it and just give it a little bit of kick because all it's gonna do is give it a little.
It's almost like, yeah, it's almost like a mayonnaise consistency, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it would be perfect to add in there. I think.
Yeah, just for a little bit of extra spice.
Yeah.
I make mine
Cool.
pretty mild just because Mary's not very big on the spice. But I don't know. You've had my Mexican street corn before. It's pretty delicious.
That's yeah, it's so tough to play with the spices around here too, because yeah, people have pretty sensitive palates, especially. And like I've been really on a chorizo kick, just throwing chorizo in a lot of things. Like I did my
what kind of chorizo do you buy, by the way?
Oh, I just buy like what is it called?
Is it the stuff in the tube?
It's just the regular in the tube,
dude.
Just like
that's
what my dad used to buy.
Isn't that the best chorizo?
Yeah.
That is the best fucking chorizo ever.
I haven't come across any better. Like you can totally go into the organic section and you could buy the other expensive chorizo and stuff like that. I haven't found one that can top the tube.
Not at all, man.
Yeah.
That's like the pork one. The pork chorizo in the tube is the best fucking chorizo you could buy. You just cook it down. Like the thing is, like, so I make that with like chili and stuff, and I'll just put it in there and I'll cook it down to where like it's not so watery anymore, and it's more of just like almost like a ground beef consistency. And all of a sudden you have this like really rich chorizo chili recipe. It's like, fuck yeah.
So when I make burgers, I throw that in every time.
Oh, really?
Chorizo, yeah.
Damn,
Mix it in with the ground beef. It's so good.
Dude, yeah, that is the best chorizo in the world. Like that chorizo is the fucking best.
What happened?
Dude,
can you still hear me?
I can still hear you, but I can't see you.
Okay, yeah, my shit went dark for some reason.
I'll
probably be coming back here in a second.
Let's see if I can refresh you. Yeah, dude, I might have to give you it's almost like a enchilada crema recipe. Yeah, it's like, but I use it's a chorizo crema recipe. So I'll have to give that to you because it's fucking delicious.
Dude, I'll try it out, man. Send it on over.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean, that's what I've been doing this whole quarantine type situation. Is I've just been trying out new dishes and stuff and feed them like people. I'm considering making my own cookbook one of these days for.
Yeah, I have my own cookbook that Mary bought me. That I put my most valued recipes in. Eric, if you could hear me, you dropped out. Yeah, so I do have my own recipe book that I write down and everything. That I put my most valued recipes in. So it's a good idea, man. Especially when you're in this time and you're cooking a lot. You got to be writing down your recipes because eventually you're gonna make something that's gold, and you don't want that to go away. For sure, you want to write down everything. So Eric just dropped out right now. So it's just me by myself right now, hanging out. How's everyone doing? I do want to, since Eric's dropped out real quick, I do want to remind everybody that you can listen to the John Sandwich Show on a smart speaker. If you have an Alexa or Google, whatever, you just say, hey, Google, play the John Sandwich Show. Hey, Alexa, play the John Sandwich Show. And they will play the John Sandwich Show on demand, just like that. It's pretty fucking cool. Try it out. So Eric is getting connected right now, but yeah, I think, you guys let me know like how you guys have been reacting and using this downtime in this social distancing, sheltering in place order. Like, how have you guys been reacting to it, and how have you guys been? Like, I know for a lot of people, there's a lot of depression. Are you guys making the best out of your time? Let us know. Follow us on the John Sandwich and let us know. I know it's tough. We're all going through it right now. It's not just you. We're all doing it. For you listeners out there, you know that the Murphy Minute, she's a men's specialist hairdresser, and shit, I think she's been out of work for a little bit over a month right now, so you're not the only one affected. We are all affected here, for sure. So don't feel bad. There's a lot of different programs and unemployment and a lot of things going on, but we feel for you. because we're in this just like you are. So don't feel bad. You're not the only ones. Eric's taking his time to get here. It's okay, though. It is okay. He might be getting a beer, using the restroom. I don't know. But on the other end, how you guys been taking up your time? So I do know this. Mary has found a new game, Animal Crossing, on the Nintendo Switch that is a perfect shelter-in-place / quarantine game. You guys should check it out. It's highly addicting. It's almost like a pseudo style survival game. It's very pleasant. Not a lot of grief in it. So you guys should definitely check it out. Oh, hey, you back, Eric?
Yep. Sorry about that.
Oh.
My computer started doing mandatory updates.
Oh man, I hate that. He's back.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's quite all right. I noticed that you probably got another beer.
I did. Oh, and it is tasty. God damn it! I got another beer, and I put in my I put on a hoodie while my computer was rebooting. So nice and warm.
So did you actually do a full reboot?
Well, I had to like shut things down. I did a reboot of Discord. That's about it.
Okay. Nice, man. Well, there was really no downtime, at least here. So that's nice.
Oh, good.
I just didn't see you, and I couldn't hear you. But
what's odd is after I shut down Discord, I still heard you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you heard all that shit I was talking about then?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit of it.
Yeah.
I ran inside to grab my hoodie while things were resetting.
Nice. Are you? Did you switch to the Profuse Juice yet?
Not yet. I'm still on Linguita's Super Cluster, which is
nice. What is that?
A citrus hopped mega IPA of intergalactic proportions. 8%. It's a strong boy.
Mega IPA.
It's strong.
How does
boy.
it taste?
It tastes very maggot-y.
Maggot-y?
No, this shit's making America great again. It's very maggot.
Oh, MAGA. Got it. Not maggot.
Not much of a difference, in my opinion.
No. I've been really into the hazy IPAs lately.
Have you?
Yeah. I love a good hazy, man. Like the hazy pale ales and hazy IPAs. Some pretty good shit.
All my glasses right now. I don't really like drinking from the cans anymore, but all my glasses are in the dishwasher. So
that's what happens when you drink too much beer.
Yep. I don't have any pint glasses available, but
dude, I got so many pint glasses. Well, it's good sometimes to drink out of the can. That way your significant other doesn't know how much beer you're drinking.
Oh, for sure.
All of a sudden you have a top rack full of just pint glasses. You're like, oh shit.
Well, that's why all my beer is in the garage refrigerator right now and stuff. And then I have my own little beer trash can here. Try to keep it on tap.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you
know where I'm at. Yeah.
See, that's why I love the keg, man, because you almost leave no evidence.
So, do you miss the bar situation that much since you have a keg? Like, there's just something about beer on tap way better than fucking beer from a can or a bottle. Just something about that tap. Even like, oh man, if you even go as far as like chilling the glass, that's what I miss. Again, there's a bar that I think they're shut down indefinitely now. I don't think they're coming back even afterwards, but they had the coldest mugs there and shit like that, where just when he served that beer, he did it with magic. Like he did it like fucking his father and his father before him. That's what they did, serve beer to people. I think he came from a long line of bartenders. That's how good he served this beer. So it was always so good. Like every single time, beer there tasted the best out of anywhere I've ever been in my life. But now they're like closed down forever. I don't think they're coming back.
So I don't know if it's so much, because I do have a kegerator. I don't know if it's so much of going to a bar. I think it's so every Friday night, Mary and I, like before we podcast on Friday nights, we would So I usually get off earlier on Fridays. We'd go to this Mexican restaurant down the street. We'd order a meal and a couple draft beers. And on Saturday, we'd go to this pub. It's called the Diamond Knot. They have amazing beer. And we get some of their beers on draft and have a decent meal. So it's not about going to bars so much as it is just like going out. You know, there was a couple places that we did go out to though, like that Mexican restaurant Diamond Knot, that I do miss because it's something that Mary and I, it was one of our things. You know, we had Friday night takeout. Well, it wasn't takeout since we went in, but we went out Friday. We had a beer or two, and we had some good Mexican food. And then on Saturday for lunch, we'd have a couple beers, and we went to this pub. I am privileged to have a kegerator, but it's not the same not being able to have people here to drink it with.
It's true.
You know, like I would much rather fill up a growler for us, be in this podcast room, drinking it, having a great time, talking about crazy things that don't make any amount of sense, that don't matter to the world. But now now it's just depressing, you know.
I miss it. I mean, it's definitely nice that we're able to do this, but it's not the same as being in the same room with each other and being able to work off each other. And yeah, I don't think that's something I'll probably never take for granted again.
Yeah, you know, I am glad that I was able to hook you up with some decent sound gear.
Yeah, sounds good. I think.
Yeah, no, it sounds great, and that, you know, we don't have any video lag, so it's really it's almost like we're in the same room right now. Like there's no video lag. We're not waiting for each other to talk, to hear people's opinions. You know, like the way we got it going on is the best we can do in this situation.
You still, I listened to a couple of podcasts. You still sound the best over there out of all of us.
Well, it's because I am in the studio.
It's still working. It's still working for you, man.
Yeah. I mean, I am in the studio, so there is that. So I have the benefit of being in the studio. I do have that benefit. I understand that you don't sound as good as I do, but you know what?
Yeah, it still works.
Desperate times come for desperate measures. But you do sound good, though.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah. You do sound good. And have you listened to any of Mary and I's live streams? How was it?
I have. I listened to the last one. It was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I'm glad you guys are doing that. I think you guys are going to take us to the top, dude.
Like honestly, like so. I don't want
like
to
a Yoko Ono type, John Lennon type situation. She'll break up the Beatles, and then it'll just be your guys' podcast.
No, she won't break up the pod. But I do feel like you could say no and be completely honest with me right now. All right.
Okay.
So you know where Abraham Lincoln is? I think you should put John Thurston where Abraham Lincoln is, and flip flop John and Mary's face. Because I think
I could totally do that.
Yeah, I think Mary's kind of a big part of the pod.
I think I'm gonna get started on that when we're done here.
You know,
make that happen.
Because
it never made sense anyway that Lincoln was at the end of it.
Yeah.
It's not a John sandwich with Lincoln at the end.
Yeah, it's a John and Abraham sandwich. So does that make sense to you, having the two Johns in the end and having Mary and you in the middle?
Yeah. I'll make that happen.
Because I think other than you, she's the biggest proponent of this. Like other than us three, she's the biggest proponent of the podcast.
For sure. And I think my art game's been pretty on point lately, I think. So I can make that happen.
Thank you.
I'm just the man for the job.
Yeah. And don't worry, we'll still split it 3 ways. Me and Mary will be one entity.
Okay. That sounds good.
Don't worry. So what you got planned for the rest of the weekend? So do you treat weekends the same, or is it every day exactly the same to you?
Every day's kind of been bleeding over into each other. I don't know weekends from weekdays. Sometimes I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore.
Yeah. You know what?
So, yeah, I don't know.
I just figured out the name for this podcast. Every day is exactly the same.
Exactly. Yeah, that's good.
All right.
There you go.
So you really don't know weekends from weekdays, night from day. It's all
Not so much. I think it's just because the kids are home all the time. Like obviously, I'm off this weekend, so it's very nice. I'm able to get a lot more done on the weekend. What's nice too is that we just moved into this house, so there's still like plenty of stuff to do, plenty of work to do. Like I did the grill. We have these lights that we used to have like above the deck in the last house. I haven't put them up yet. I'm going to put them up today and just have some nice dangling lights and shit over the new deck and stuff like that. Make it look nice. Maybe we can even, like, the weather's cleared up, maybe we can eat outside tonight too. Yeah, little stuff like that's keeping me occupied.
That's good, man. That's really good. Like, I've been I don't know, man. Even though I've been working, I've been like kind of in a daze, if that makes sense. You know, just kind of in a daze, and nothing's felt right for a long time. You know, like I know a lot of people out there are seeking guidance and seeking a little bit of normalcy. But I just want people to know that, like, I am working every single day and it still feels strange to me. Like, my normal day life, even though I go to work every day, is still different. And it's strange. Like, there's no traffic. Everyone's wearing a mask.
It's very different. It's a different world.
It is a very different world right now. And I want people to know that are actually, like, sheltered in place, that don't work essential jobs, that even as an essential employee, things are very different, and it's not the same as it was before. Can I get a status update from you on something? Yeah.
So we, obviously, like, Zelda's had some health problems not so long ago. We did 2 more vet visits, and right now they're essential business, so they're still open, but it's kind of like a drive-through type situation where you drive up, come take your dog from the car and take them inside. How's Odie doing right now?
Well, so it's the exact same situation. It's more of like a drive-through. You park, you call them up. Of course, you make your appointment first. You park, and they ask you what car you're driving and what color it is, and they come out in their masks, of course, and then they take your dog inside and to perform their things. We actually did that today.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it's the same situation that you're going through. They are definitely socially distancing themselves pretty good. Odie is doing good. I mean, for his situation, like, honestly, like, he's doing good. His blood work came back today, and he has a little bit of elevated something just because he might have an infection somewhere. But he's still on his liver medication. He's still on his chemotherapy. He's still on his Rimadol for his pain. And he's still on his supplements. But he's doing good, man. He's doing good. I'm gonna knock on wood right now. He got diagnosed with cancer, aggressive cancer. At least diagnosed January 11th. We knew he had it around Christmas, and it is now 4 months later, and they gave him 3 months to live. So he's already outlived his 3-month mark.
Yeah.
Which is amazing and remarkable. Because I love my dog so much.
For sure.
So he's already outlived his 3-month mark, which is amazing.
And strong spirit.
Yes. And I will say this, and it's I am thankful that Mary's been laid off the last month and a half.
Yeah.
Because she has been able to spend so much time with my dog.
That's good.
You know, like, well, maybe not month and a half, maybe a month or whatever it is. She's been laid off like either 4 or 5 weeks, something like that. Just because she's been able to spend so much time with our dog. at the last little point of his life, you know, because honestly, he could go, like I said, he's a month overdue on his 3-month prediction.
Yeah.
So like every single day after this is borrowed time.
Yeah, for sure.
And Mary's been able to spend the last month sheltering in place with her best friend.
Yeah, it's great, man.
And that is amazing to me. And I'm
Maybe like, maybe like in a beautiful way, it's like he can't go yet because he knows that you guys need him and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
maybe that's part of it and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not ready.
yeah. And it's crazy because like, in this sense, like I almost kind of like thank the coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
Like as fucked up as that may sound,
Yeah.
but like for my family, I kind of thank it because it's given Mary so much. Because before this, like she was traveling all the time.
Yeah.
She was gone out of state, traveling, working in state, and it's just like this is just giving her like so much time just to hang out with our dog and like spend the last
make some memories, some long lasting memories. And
exactly,
shit.
man. Like she'll never forget these times. Like being in quarantine with her best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like she'll never forget this at all.
Not so bad, right?
Yeah.
So bad.
Like, can you imagine like Odie not here? You know?
Yeah, right.
Like how crazy would she be going right now? You know, I'm thankful for that. Like I'm thankful
sure.
that Odie's such a strong dog that he's still powering through. And
sure.
it's amazing. And I'm so happy. So
it's
so
not his
happy.
time yet, man.
No, it's not, man. It's really not. Like Odie's been one of the, like, honestly, he could live another 5 years just to be in defiance because he's that type of dog. You know, he's a defiant dog. He's like, oh no, like he, like what was it, 2.5 years ago? He had like a terrible fucking tumor and he got it removed. And like every single time, it's like, oh yeah, he's lucky. He's lucky. And like now he has cancer, aggressive, and he's just fucking pulling through and being defiant as fuck, man.
He's like, fucking, I'll tell you what, I'm going to finish this beer and I'll tell you when I'm ready.
Yeah, exactly,
I'll tell you when I'm ready to go.
Oh, wait, you still have treats in the box? Let me finish those first, all right? You know? So, in that sense, I am grateful. I am grateful.
It's good, man.
You know?
It's good. We need more positive stories like that in our lives right now.
So how is Zelda in your and everything?
Pretty good. So it turns out it was just a cyst. We got the results back and stuff like that. So it was just a cyst that was drained. She's still healthy. I mean, it was scary. Like, friggin', it just seems like this vet that we go to, and I don't know why we keep going there, but they tend to always lean towards the worst case scenario. And like, it almost feels like they love giving bad news. Mm-hmm. It always turns out to be nothing and fine. This time was a little bit scary because she was like a little different. I think it was just due to the fact that we moved and getting adjusted to the new place and stuff like that. And she was like, I mean, she's older now, so like she's tired. She doesn't move around as fast as she used to, and sleeps a lot more. So I think in terms of that, I think she's just getting old, and it's just like, you know, the way of things. She's not as quick as she used to be.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to try to do a lot better when something weird like this happens, to not immediately go into panic mode and like start preparing for a funeral and stuff, and maybe just write it out. Don't always go to the bad stuff immediately.
Do you guys have her on supplements?
No.
I'm gonna take a picture of this the supplements that we give Odie. It's supposed to help with like joint pain. It's pretty much like old dog medicine, and it's not like it's not a prescription, but it's pretty much just for like joint pain, arthritis, and like all this other like old dog stuff, right? They're just supplements. We give our dog like twice a day. Yours would probably be just like once a day. But like they've definitely helped out with like a little bit of, you know, just supplements help, you know.
Yeah, they
the vet recommended Costco, and it's really good. So
good. Yeah, we'll try it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
The
expensive.
vet recommended changing the dog's food. And then we went to go talk to the people at the pet store that we go to. And they're just like vets tend to be, they get money, I guess, for recommending certain like foods and stuff like that. So it's not always, it's kind of like a money game and shit.
Yeah.
Like they try to put you on stuff and like stuff
Yeah.
that benefits them and shit like
So
that.
like after, if you ever want a difference in opinion in vets, let me know, because I have a great vet that's been with Odie for 8 years, 9 years, ever since I moved up here. She is fucking great, and she has never tried to upsell me on food.
Okay.
Like, she's always just been about Odie, like whatever we fed him, is, like we feed our dog Kirkland dog food, and it's always been fine. It's just like she's about the pet's care and not so much about, upselling like food or like different types of supplements or whatever. She'll like recommend supplements. Actually, I don't think she ever has. Like we've done supplements and she'd be like, oh yeah, those are good supplements to have or whatever, She's always been a really down to earth, like just great vet that's always been there for Odie. I'm really sad because Odie had to switch doctors because he has like a oncologist now. So he has different types of doctors. So he, can't see his old vet anymore or whatever.
Yeah, that sucks.
But, she's a really good vet.
That's good, man. We'll check it out.
Yeah.
Shit. It'd be nice. Yeah. It just seems like, I think the sense that I get is that the whole vet game is might be a little bit corrupt and like, I don't know. It seems like it sometimes.
It's all about that
Like
science
they're-
diet, right?
Yeah. And they're just trying to constantly upsell you and that the dog needs to get this done and this done just in order for you to spend more money, it seems like.
Yeah. And honestly,
And meanwhile, I take Zelda home and she seems to be doing fine. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's hard because like the vet that we had before we had to switch vets and stuff, she's always like, your dog better than I do. Like, you're the one that petting your dog. You're the one touching your dog. You're the one that sees his or hers interactions, so better than anybody else. Like, I can't come in here. Like, you can't just bring me and like I would just automatically assume something's wrong with your dog. It's something that you have to interact with your dog. If you notice something wrong with your dog, it's up to you as the pet owner, because you are the one that interacts with it every day. Like pets can't talk,
Yeah, for sure.
So it's definitely something that Mary and I have been more diligent about, of like knowing different patterns with Odie, because like, she's right. Like, he can't talk. So like all the information that she gets is from us, and you have to almost kind of like bring yourself down a little bit.
Yeah.
And like look at the situation objectively, because how you look at the dog and how like things are getting done, or your cat or whatever, your pet, is how the vet is going to proceed on treatments and like how they're going to like on x-rays and this and that, because they don't know otherwise, because dogs can't talk,
Yeah, for sure.
So you have to speak for them. So you have to be their voice. So if you see something wrong or feel that something's wrong, you have to speak up, and, so.
Fucking dogs, man.
I love them way too much, man. Love them way too much.
Yeah. So much so that like, I don't know if it's like just dogs in general or just this particular dog. Like we have another dog. We have 2 dogs. But I love this other one so much more than the new one that we got.
Oh yeah.
It's weird. Yeah, it's weird. Like I find myself playing favorites all the time. Like this dog is everything a dog should be: loyal, steadfast, does what she's supposed to. Like, and then loves me to death, which helps a lot too. Like, just
That
wants
does
to
help.
be around me all the time. Yeah. The other dog's more skittish, and like we're still having adjustment problems with him, just as far as because he was like an abused. He was a rescue, so he still doesn't. He's not very trusting at all, and like still. Like if you spook him a little too fast, like I can't even, if like he's laying down with us in bed and I just shift like positions,
Mhm.
he'll freak out and run away.
Oh yeah.
Like just that's like how much he's like shit that's gone on in his
Mm.
life where he's like not very trusting. One thing we have tried because he's like so far, he loves Emily, my girlfriend, and like he's like so far up her ass and just follows her around all day. We tried to separate them a little bit, like where he can get more time with other people in the house. Found like that helps him to relax a little bit more because like we have like kids in the house and stuff, so shit's loud. Probably not the best way for a skittish, probably not the best like environment for a skittish dog and shit.
Yeah.
Just have kids around and shit screaming the whole time. So but I think he's getting better. I think he's adjusting a lot more. I think with the new house too, has helped break up the hierarchy because like when he got to the old house, like that was Zelda's house. And like freaking
Yeah.
Zelda was like very like standoffish with him as far as like what this dog could do. It kind of seems like moving into this new house help put the two dogs in more of a neutral ground where I think they're getting along a lot better now,
Well,
which is good.
well, dogs have a pack mentality, right? So I think just as long as the pack knows that either you or Emily is the leader of the pack,
Yeah.
then they'll go down from there. So it's usually either you or Emily, and then them. You know.
Well, I'm the backup for sure. Like when Emily's around, she's the alpha.
Mm,
To take her out of the equation, he'll come and be next to me. I'm the beta. I'm the backup for sure.
yeah.
That's how it seems
Yeah.
to be.
Well, just as long as those two dogs know that you're in charge, and then they'll pack around with each other. You know.
hmm Yeah, but it seems like it's been a lot better with the new house. Like, they
So
get
do you
along
like
so
feed
much
them
better.
separately? It's two separate bowls, or
Yeah, because like Zelda had a big problem with eating her bowl and then going to eat his bowl. So now like Zelda's bowl is out in the kitchen,
Mhm.
and his bowl is in the bedroom
Uh-huh.
to keep it separated, and
Yeah.
that's like his little spot to do it. I think it makes him feel more comfortable. I think
Yeah.
too. That's a weird thing with eating,
Yeah.
like taking treats from somebody. Like you can be holding up like a big juicy freaking bone with meat on it, and he would be like really skittish about taking it from you.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I think like fucking he's probably like definitely seen like a lot of abuse in his life.
Probably.
And shit. Like he's very but like hopefully we can break him out of that and he'll get more comfortable living here and stuff.
Yeah.
Be a little better about it. Yeah.
I'm sure if
He's
there's
definitely
I'm sure if there's anybody that could do it, it'd be you guys for sure.
for sure. We're so loving around here.
Oh, you guys are.
Yeah. He'll be a good dog. He'll be a good dog one day. We'll beat it out of him.
You guys will. But I'm assuming it's about carne asada time, yeah?
It is. I was just about to say that. So I'm going to go get my barbecue stuff ready. If you guys want to pod later or tomorrow, I
Yeah.
will update you on how well my meal turned out.
All right, yeah. You know, Eric, I'm free the rest of the night, so you let me know whether or not you want to pod. I don't know if John's going to be available tonight. He might be
Yeah.
available tomorrow, but you, dude, honestly,
Yeah, John's got some stuff going on. It might just
Yeah.
be the John and Eric weekend. We'll see.
dude, honestly, anytime you want to pod, you let me know and I will pod.
Okay, well, I'll text you when we're done with dinner. I think we can get one going
All right.
tonight. If you
Yeah.
want to do one, just me, you and I.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking Mary and I might get on the pod tonight too. We might do a live show.
So maybe I'll just call into that. Let me
Yeah.
text me
But-
if you guys are going to go live.
But she might also be too into Animal Crossing right now to want to play video
Okay.
games.
Sure. Okay.
So you let me know if you want to pod
you
tonight.
just let me know.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
let you know and you let me know. How about we will let each other know?
We'll let each other know.
All right. On that note, thank you for listening to the John Sandwich Show. Remember, you can listen to us on your smart speaker. If you have a Google or Alexa, whatever you have, just say, hey, whatever, play the John Sandwich Show, and it will
amazing.
play on your smart speaker. Do it.
I tried that the other night and it totally came up, man.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it's pretty awesome, right?
I tried it on the Alexa and Alexa's like playing the John Sandwich Show. I'm like, God damn it, Alexa.
Even
It's
tells you
amazing.
the title, right? It's like Shelter in Place
even
Series,
tells the title.
which is awesome.
Amazing.
Pretty fucking awesome. So remember, guys and ladies and gals and girls, whatever you are, you can listen to us wherever. You can follow us at the John Sandwich Show on Twitter, And thank you for listening. We appreciate it.
Yep. Have a sandwich, people.
Yep. Have a sandwich. Later, Eric.
Later.